Welcome back to the Israel Ramos Show, where I bring up important topics in today's troubled world, and I try to address the issue of the topics that I discuss to the best of my knowledge and ability. Today I'm going to talk about stop provoking people. Stop provoking people and why. It is so important that we think before we react to any situation, and that we don't say or do anything that's going to upset another person. Why? Because we don't know what other people are going through. We have no idea the emotional, mental stress that they may be going through. Maybe they have a loved one that passed away, or they're going through a divorce, or they went through a divorce recently, or someone hurt them, rejected them. We have no idea what's going on in a person's life. So no matter what the situation is, or we may be in a rush to the point where we take our car and put it right, we get right behind a person's car and we're tailgating them. That's going to upset someone. There's many times when I'm on my way to work, I'll always find someone, if I'm not going fast enough for them, if the speed limit is 55 and I'm going 60 or 65, there's always someone that will comes right up to my bumper because they want me to get out of their way. They don't care about the speed limit. They're in a rush to go who knows where. And when it's safe to do so, I'll look. It's safe to do so. I'll put my signal light, move out of their way, let them go. Why is it important to ignore these people? Because you don't want to get into it with someone that does that. It is not a smart behavior for people to do that, to tailgate people. There could be children in the car. The person could get a blowout, may have to stop. It's not a good thing to do. And I always find people that I see on the road that are harassing other people. They want to tell other people how to drive their car. Now, I'm using the road as an example of road rage because there's a lot of people out there that I see, and it's not everybody, who are so in a rush for whatever reason, they want to tailgate a person and tell them how to drive their car. But what they fail to see or really, really understand, or maybe they don't want to understand, is they're provoking that person. They have no idea what that person may be going through. Now, there's a story that happened years ago where there was this pickup truck and he was tailgating this small car, and it's not a good ending. He kept tailgating him, and the small car did not want to get out of the way, to the point where the small car moved out of his way. As soon as the pickup truck was trying to pass him, the small car had a gun and shot a couple of rounds in the guy's pickup truck and killed him. And the guy lost control, went off the road. Now, could that have been prevented? Well, of course it could have been prevented if the guy driving the pickup truck would have used a little common sense and say, hey, I don't know what in the world this guy's going through in his personal life. I don't know him. He may be going through mental, emotional pain because of something that happened to that person in their life. We never know what a person is going through. People are stressed out as it is. Life is hard as it is. So it is not a smart idea to provoke another person to do something that's creating that person to get upset at you. It is better to show people respect and common courtesy. When it's safe to do so, if you want to pass someone, do it in a very respectful manner. Wait till you get the opportunity to go around that person, even if that person doesn't want to get out of your way. I understand that a lot of times you get people in the left lane who are going too slow. I understand that. But maybe that person's a new driver. Maybe it's an older person. But it's always better to try to pass someone when it's safe to do so. This way you avoid getting into it with that person. Like I said, you don't know if that person is carrying a gun. You don't know if that's all it took or that's all it takes for that person to blow up on you and pull out a gun and point it at you. Is it really worth it? Was it really worth it for that pickup truck, whoever that person was in the truck, for them to provoke the small car? No, it was not worth it because he lost his life. So the reason I'm doing this podcast is to remind those people, whoever they are, if you have that problem provoking people and you get these cars that they want everybody to get out of their way and they're zooming to the left, zooming to the right, and they're being very aggressive to the point where they a lot of times cause accidents. I've seen aggressive people create accidents. You're not the only one on the road. There's a lot of people on the road who are trying to get somewhere. But all these people is to get the big picture. You don't know the problems that people are going through. So it is not a smart idea to provoke people. The reason I mentioned the driving is because it happens all the time. All the time. Someone is out there provoking another person, tailgating that person. Do not think because you're driving in a big pickup truck or a tow truck or even a truck or a big bus, you're going to put fear in that other person's mind. It's not going to happen. You should assume, if you validate your life, hey, this person has a gun. Let me not provoke this person because I have no idea what this person may be going through. You don't know what in the world the person is going through. So when it's safe to do so, pass the person. You could be provoking somebody coming out of a bank. You know, a lot of times people hold the doors for people. It's common courtesy. If somebody holds the door for you, say thank you. Don't have this attitude. Well, I didn't ask them to open the door. So there's many ways we can provoke a person. Driving happens a lot. This is why I mentioned driving. Getting somebody upset is not a good thing. It never ends good. It's a smart idea for you to assume that that person has a gun. In today's troubled world we live in, most people will not fight you with their hands. I'm a martial artist, but I also know, and I have experience in life, that most people will not fight you with their hands. I assume they have a knife. They could have a knife anywhere. They could have it in their socks, in their feet, with a strap. People carry straps right under their ankle where you can't see it. They have a knife there. They could have a gun. It doesn't matter the size of the gun. All it takes is one bullet to kill a person. Now, is it really worth it for you to provoke that person? For you to okay, let's say you were provoked and the person provokes you into anger. It's better to take a deep breath and say to yourself, this person has a gun. Assume that this person has a gun. It's like when I go in the ring, I don't try to when I'm sparring, I don't try to win the fight just like that. I don't underestimate my opponent. So I get the person tired, and then I'm able to win the karate fight. But I don't try to defeat the person all at once. So the point is, it's a sport for me. It's not that I want to hurt anyone. It's a sport. But the point is, think twice before you cause that person to get upset at you. We need to think, it's important that we think of the consequences. The consequences. If what I think to yourself, by what I'm going to do to this person, whether it's tailgating them, cursing them, giving them the middle finger, is it, what could happen? Can I cause this person, get this person so angry where they decide to pull a gun at me and pull the trigger? Yes. There's a lot of people out there that are ready to explode. And guess what? You may be the person that they explode on. Why? Because you said or did something that caused that person to blow up on you. We live in a world, my friend, where people are dealing with a lot of stress. I've noticed people are more angrier now than they've ever been. You got mental sick people that, we've heard it, that go into the schools, into the movie theaters, and sometimes most of these people are young or they could be older, and they're killing people for whatever crazy reason. So you have no idea who you're provoking. It is a smart idea, again, if you validate your life and your family. You may have loved ones that are waiting for you to get home. Maybe you have anger issues where it doesn't take much to get you upset. And I understand that you may not be the one that provoked that person. Maybe people provoke you, but the things they say or the way they look at you, but is it really worth it for you to get into it or react to that person? No, it isn't. I find that, and I'm not saying I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I too have fallen to the situations where people have got me so upset where I react to it. But I've learned as I continue to live life, because life is the best education you could get. And when you listen to the news, all these tragic things happen, so much violence and road rage, I've learned to let it go. I'll take a deep breath and say, I want to get where I'm going. I'm going to let this person go. I'm going to ignore this person. Sometimes, even if you know you wasn't wrong, and said, look, if I've offended you in any way, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Humble yourself. You'll find, you could, the Bible says that a gentle answer can break a bone. It's better to win over a person than to get a person upset. You don't want to do that. Life is too short, my friend, for you to upset someone to the point where either you could wind up killing that person and wind up in jail for the rest of your life, or that person may kill you. So it's better not to get into it. It isn't worth it. You know who you are. The reason I'm doing this podcast is to remind whoever it is that's listening to me will be reminded. It's very important for us to be reminded of things that we need to work on. People that have this attitude, well, no one's going to change me. Anybody messes with me, they're going to get it. Well, you're taking a chance of losing your life or winding up in jail for a long time. Is it worth it? When you're sitting in, there's a lot of people in prison because of they didn't control their anger. They just blew up on a person. Mike Tyson, for an example, he was heavyweight champion of the world. He was knocking all these fighters out. He was a good fighter, great fighter. But in his personal life, he still had that that ghetto mentality. That's why he wound up in jail. Because anything anybody would say to him, Mike Tyson will blow up on them because he had an anger issue. So now he's a dynamic person. He's older. It's nice to listen to Mike Tyson speak. I love what he says. He's very sensitive. He cries. It takes a real man to cry. I'm happy to see that he made a new change in his life. He's not the angry person that he was years ago. And like he said, do not allow the devil to rob you for what is yours. And when you let your anger get the best of you, where instead of making the situation go away because you give into your anger or your pride, you make the situation worse. It is not worth it. Think of the consequences. If we take responsibilities for the things that we need to improve in our life, we will grow as a person. People that do not receive constructive criticism will never grow. I grew up with people, and I won't say any names, because I don't want to badmouth anyone, who had this stupid attitude. No one's going to change me. I'll do whatever I want. And if people don't like it, I could care less. People like that stay stagnated. They don't grow. It's like you're wearing the same clothes every day, every day. You're going to stink after a while. You need to change your clothes. You need to shower. Put new clothes on. Every day we should want to grow. Every day we should be open to learn. I'll learn from a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old may teach me something I need to know. Or from a bird, or from a cat, or from a dog. It's always good to be willing to improve yourself. Getting upset, it's not good for you. It takes a lot of energy to get upset, and it's all negative energy. You're never going to feel good. It's better to laugh with people, to encourage a person. If I'm in the street and I get an opportunity and I have the time, I'll ask a homeless person, "Can I get you something to eat?" I wear a mask, of course, because today's world we don't want to catch anything, so it's good to wear a mask. And I'll buy them something, and I'll listen to them, and I'll listen to them carefully so that I can respond to whatever it is that they're saying. Sometimes people just need you to listen and encourage them. I want to know that while I'm on this planet, I'm going to make a difference. Not that I'm living for Israel. No, I want to be known that I made a difference. Maybe I didn't change the world, but I made a difference in somebody's life. And I want to know that wherever I was or whoever I got in contact with, that I encouraged that person, not that I upset that person. Because it's very easy to upset someone. Very easy. So this is why I wanted to bring up this topic, is to remind someone that needed to listen to this. Is it worth it? There's two things that could happen to you. You could wind up in jail for the rest of your life, or you could wind up dead. Now, there's a lot of people in your family, I would imagine, who are looking forward to seeing you come home. Maybe most of the time, maybe you're a nice person. You're a loving person when you're at home, but when you're in your car, you're a different person. Is it worth it? If you love your family, let it go. You'll find that if you let it go, that person is gone. It'll be gone in less than a minute. They'll be gone. Because you didn't do anything to get their attention. It's better to remain invisible than to get people's attention in a very negative way. Of course, it's not easy. You get a lot of people out there that will provoke you. But is it worth it? Don't allow anyone to steal your joy, your peace. You got loved ones that want to see you get home. So ignore it. Ignore it. It's just the evil forces that come from a dark, dark, dark place. And the devil is behind those wicked spirits that want to steal your joy and your peace. Is it worth it? No. You overcome evil by doing good. You got to outsmart them. Like Bruce Lee said, the art of fighting without fighting. The art of fighting without fighting. You could win a fight by ignoring it, by avoiding it. If you watch Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee demonstrates this bully, this troublemaker. He starts swinging at him to his face. And Bruce Lee says, "Well, don't you think it's rather small to be fighting here in the boat? Let's take that little boat and go to the island. We'll fight there." The guy was so prideful, he listened to Bruce Lee. He went into the boat, then Bruce Lee let go of the rope. And the guy made a fool out of himself. It's an Enter the Dragon. It's a nice scene. So I call it the art of fighting without fighting, because I'm a martial artist. But I don't think that just because I'm good with my hands, I'm going to solve everything. Because I should assume if I'm a smart person, most people that are ready to blow up will not fight you with their hands. They either have a knife or a gun. And it's better to assume that. Because if you assume that, you will act differently. Assume that the person has a weapon. This way you'll avoid it, let them go. Before you know it, within 60 seconds, the person is gone and you continue on your merry way. Again, do not allow any negative forces of a person negative energy to steal your joy and your peace. You got loved ones that want to see you get home tonight. And that's the best way to look at it, my friend. And today I just wanted to remind whoever needed to be reminded, because the Bible says if you correct a wise person, they will become even wiser. Why? Because a wise person, whether it's a male or female, they're willing to receive constructive criticism. They're willing to be corrected because they're humble, they're smart. But only a foolish, stupid person will not be willing to receive constructive criticism. And a person who's not willing to receive constructive criticism will never grow and will lead into a lot of troubles ahead of their life. So it's always good to be willing to listen, to be corrected. I love it when a person cares enough about me to say, hey, brother, you said or did this, and I'll say thank you and I apologize. It doesn't take much to humble yourself and apologize. It's better to win a person over than to create war with the person. My dad said years ago, he's not alive anymore, rest in peace. He said it's better to have friends than enemies. It's never a good thing to have enemies. And that's basically it. Don't allow anyone to steal your joy and peace. Uh, the Bible says that a gentle answer can break a bone. It's better to win people over than to cause people to have conflict with you. It isn't worth it. You could wind up dead or in jail. It is not worth it. Or in the hospital, very well, injured. So I hope that today's podcast has been helpful to you. Because I try to the best of my knowledge and my abilities to address the issues that I choose to talk about. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to support it so I can continue to give you good information that will help you in your life. I may not change the world, but as long as we make a difference, that's all that matters. And until next time, thank you for listening, and bye bye.